The Dallas Mavericks just finished their second game of the preseason, and we're off to a pretty rough start as we lost to the Utah Jazz 107-102, another loss by only 5 points, in a game where nothing really exciting happened. I mean, Klay Thompson had his debut, Daniel Gafford looked pretty well, the deep bench got their run, and we almost came back. And we're going to go over all that in this video. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, man, we're sitting at 13,569 subscribers. Nice. But as you all know, we're on a road to 15,000 subs. And if you are enjoying the live streams, the watch-alongs, the giveaways, and everything else that we're doing here at Mavs Digest, consider subscribing and I'd appreciate it greatly. But tonight's loss, it isn't as bad as many people may feel. Obviously, you don't like losing. We're poised to make it back to the finals and potentially win the whole thing. So every little loss may feel a little bit heavier than it actually should be. But it is just preseason, even though things are off to a rough start. You gotta look at it in a certain lens where we don't have our complete roster. PJ Washington is still out. Luka Doncic most likely will not play the remainder of the preseason games. These games are more or less a tryout for the deep bench guys, as some players may not be here when the season starts and they're fighting for a roster spot. And in that same token, we're also trying to see how these guys gel, as we did make a few pickups over the summer and we want to make sure that they're integrated fairly well. But if we go ahead and just look at the box score from tonight's game, and I'm not going over the Jazz because they played everybody just like we did. But just to go over the few players real quick, we got Omax. He had 10 points, 1 assist, 10 rebounds, and he was 1 of 3 from 3. He also had 3 turnovers. Derrick Lively had 4 points, 2 blocks, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, and he was 2 of 4 from the floor. Not too bad. Not too much from Derrick Lively, but not too bad. And Kyrie Irving, in his first preseason game, he played 17 minutes. He had 12 points. He also had 3 turnovers. He had 1 assist, 4 rebounds. He was 0 of 4 from 3, but 6 of 11 from the floor. And Spencer Dinwiddie, he played 21 minutes. He had 10 points. He also had 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 3 assists, no rebounds, but was 1 of 2 from 3 and 3 of 8 from the field. And Klay Thompson, in his Dallas Mavericks debut, had 10 points. Now, he only played 18 minutes, only played in the first half, but he had 10 points. He had 3 assists, no rebounds, but he was 3 of 5 from 3, which all of those threes came in the second quarter. He was 3 of 9 from the floor, and he also played pretty good defense. For the most part, I don't think Klay Thompson was a bad defender in this game in those limited minutes. Obviously, once when the season actually begins and we're halfway through the season, we'll see how Klay Thompson's defense holds up. But for tonight, I wasn't too upset with how he played defense. I think he was on par with everyone else. Not too much, not too little. I think he was just fine for us, and with the upcoming games, I think he'll play even better. But on the bench, Markieff Morris actually got some run in 5 minutes. He got 1 block and 1 personal foul. Shout out to Markieff Morris. Miller was out there for 7 minutes. He got 1 rebound. That's pretty much it. Najee Marshall, who was doing very well playmaking and facilitating and also just playing great defense. In 18 minutes, he had 6 points. He only had 1 turnover, but he did have 4 personal fouls. He was playing very tough. He had 1 steal, 1 assist, 6 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 0 of 1 from 3, and 2 of 6 from the floor. Dwight Powell, our man Dwight, played 12 minutes, had 4 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, 0 of 1 from 3. He did attempt a 3, did not make it, but was 2 of 3 from the floor. And our man Daniel Gafford, the landlord, came off the bench, 18 wonderful minutes, gave you 15 points, only 2 turnovers with 3 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. 1 of 2 from the free throw line, with 7 of 10 from the floor. Daniel Gafford definitely looked good. There was a moment in the game where there was a missed shot and a rebound that Daniel Gafford grabbed and just ran down the other way, just went coast to coast and just dunked it in on the other end. In the second quarter, there was a stretch where it was the third quarter. There was a stretch where Daniel Gafford was kind of doing it all, just back to back to back to back. He was on fire tonight, and he looked electric. Daniel Gafford and Derrick Lively are both fighting for that starting center position, and I like the fight that we see. I mean, Derrick Lively looked great in the first preseason game. Daniel Gafford looked great in the second preseason game. We got 2 more, so who knows? But the good thing is we have 2 centers that are virtually the same player, so whoever starts is whatever really to us, because we know that they both can put up that same production. But just to wrap up the box score real quick, we did see Jamarian Sharp out there for 12 minutes. He was 2 of 3 from the floor, 2 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 3 turnovers, and had 6 points. Our man Quentin Grimes out there in 12 minutes. He was 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, one personal foul and 5 points. AJ Lawson, who we did waive, and then we got him back on a two-way contract in about 7 minutes of play. He was 1 of 2 from the field. He had 2 rebounds and 2 points. Our man, Jayzian Gortman, in 18 minutes, he was 3 of 6 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3. He had 3 assists, 1 rebound, one turnover. Only 1 turnover and 6 points. I'm all for it. And Jaden Hardy, a little bit of a Hardy party in 25 minutes, gave you 12 points, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 4 assists, 1 rebound. He was 2 of 6 from 3 and 3 of 11 from the field. But overall, like I said, nothing really exciting happened in this game. There were moments that was exciting, but overall, it wasn't that great of a game. Jaden Hardy looked very well in the first game the first preseason game. Looked very well in this game. He was kind of forcing it. His defense really wasn't that good, as any time they called a screen, he was lost on their pick and roll. It was very reminiscent of Josh Green. Hopefully, Jaden Hardy gets that under control, because there were a lot of good things that we saw from him, a lot of hustle. He was able to just attack the basket and score, but just on defense, we got to get that defense together. But someone else who looked pretty good on defense was Jayzian Gortman. I mean, he is a smaller guard. He's 6'2", but he has about a 6'9" wingspan, and he was on Colin Sexton like white on rice. Gortman looked pretty good. He didn't play significant minutes like in game 1 of the preseason. He didn't really stand out that well, but he didn't look that bad either. He's still fighting for a roster spot. I'm a big fan of Gortman. They're calling him the GOAT man, and I truly believe that he could be a solid piece for this team down the road if we just keep him on the roster and develop him. Jamarian Sharp as well looked very rough, same as Omax. Really wasn't anything flashy from them either. Omax felt like he was just forcing things. He had moments where it looked good. He had more moments that didn't look good. He's definitely a work in progress. But overall, I'm not too worried about this loss. Like I said, it's a pretty rough start to preseason when you lose your first 2 games by 5 points in each game. But all in all, it's no reason to be worried. The Dallas Mavericks will be fine. It's not even our full roster. We're not really too worried about winning these preseason games. But I understand as fans, we want to see them win. We want to see amazing basketball. But we're not really going to see that until the regular season starts. But as always, as I started in the last video, or the last post-game vid, we're going to do in this post-game vid is we talk about who was standing on business. And if I had to look at this team and how unexciting this game really was, the player that was standing on business was Daniel Gafford. He had a very solid game, played excellent defense, although the Jazz were playing their starters heavy minutes, where you had Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen, the 2 twin towers down there. Daniel Gafford had to hold his own. At times it looked rough, but he still fought through. He had some really good looks. Like I said, that one move where he just went coast to coast was a pretty solid play by Daniel Gafford, and he looked fairly well throughout the whole game. And if we just look right here, Daniel Gafford had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was 70% from the floor. We all know that Daniel Gafford is a very efficient center. We saw him almost break Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most consecutive field goals made last season. And I can tell that Daniel Gafford is ready to take his game to the next level. In this upcoming season, we're going to need that efficiency. We're going to need that grit. And I think that he's ready. He definitely showed it in this game. And if we just take a look right here, Jason Kidd, after the game, said that both Derrick Lively II and Daniel Gafford are competing for a starting center spot. That starting center position kind of fluctuates, it feels like. I mean, I was told it was Derrick Lively for sure. I was told that sometimes Derrick Lively, sometimes Daniel Gafford. But it looks like whoever Jason Kidd chooses as our starting center will be our starting center. It won't fluctuate that often. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter who starts. But it seems like there is somewhat of a battle between Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford. I'm hoping for Derrick Lively, but I wouldn't be too upset if it's Daniel Gafford. Like I said, they're both the same player. They both have similar production. It's a good thing that we have both of them. It's a good rotation of bigs. But Daniel Gafford definitely responded after that fairly weak game 1 on Monday against the Grizzlies. It wasn't that good for Daniel Gafford, but he definitely came back better in this game. Looked pretty solid. And the last thing that I just want to highlight real quick, Klay Thompson in his preseason debut as a Maverick. 10 points, 3 assists, 3 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. Solid Dallas debut for Killer Klay. And I felt like he just needs to get into his rhythm. We were live for this preseason game, and people were saying how, he looks a little bit hesitant and just unsure of himself. I know Klay Thompson was just letting the game come to him, not forcing too much. It's just a preseason game. He's played many preseason games in his career, letting the game come to him and just feeling it out. And look, he hit 3 threes in the second quarter, back to back to back. So Klay Thompson, in my opinion, had a pretty solid debut. I think he'll have much better games ahead of himself. But I'm not mad at 3 made threes in 1/2 of a game. I'm all for it. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Daniel Gafford stood on business? Do you think it should have gone to Klay Thompson? let me know in the comment section. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing our giveaway next Saturday as we go live. But until next time, take care, drink water. Peace.